I'm trying to make sure I have everything set up correctly. I'm trying to make sure I have everything set up correctly. Alright, we should be good to go. I have an agenda always, but I often forget to do things on the agenda, so I have a checklist this time. The stream looks like it's running well. Alright, let's go right into it. I did not want to open that yet. Alright, so there's a live stream. That's running well. Okay, we got this. And, alright. Let's start this. First, we'll go to Fishing Chaos. If you haven't yet, join the club. This is our club on Fishing Chaos app, Kayak and Cats National Tournament Club. We do not charge a fee to join our club. Just me personally, I don't think there's enough worth in having a club fee. What are they going to do? Buy trophies or something that are just eventually going to find the trash anyway? So to join our club is free. So go in here, hit on it. Let's get those numbers up. It also is easier to find the tournaments from the club page. If you go right down here, dashboard and dashboard might only be for me, but there's your tournaments here too as well. Let's see. If you're not already a Fishing Chaos member, I advise you become a Fishing Chaos member if you plan on doing multiple tournaments throughout the year. It will save on money down the road. In the future, we will be passing the Fishing Chaos fee on to the angler. What we have been doing up through March is we have been eating the fee within the $30 or $50 entry. But that's causing unequal contribution, if that's a word, to the pot. So, let's say a member signs up for a $30 tournament. That means $28.44 goes to the pot. A non-member signs up for a $30 tournament. They submit like $26.50 to the pot, which isn't fair. So you're actually kind of hurting Fishing Chaos members as opposed to helping them. So now on a $30 tournament, that Fishing Chaos member is going to be submitting $28.44 to the pot still, whereas a non-Fishing Chaos member is going to have to pay for that Fishing Chaos fee, which is going to make their fee like $31.50, but they're still going to be submitting $28.44 to the pot. That sounds funky. I guarantee you I'm the only administrator explaining these things to their anglers, so it comes off as a little weird. Most guys will not explain that to their anglers. They just go ahead and send it out. And if you like it, cool. If you don't like it, get over it. I refuse to be like that. So we're going to be fully transparent with all fees. Next is, if you have a YouTube, I do my absolute best to link all anglers' YouTubes to every tournament that they're in. Also, the plan was to link any video I saw associated with a competitor and that tournament and their YouTube channel. That just ended up, it's just too much. I actually can't, so I do apologize. That was the plan. I actually can't do that. So if you compete in a tournament and you want one of your videos highlighted in the description, if you make 10 videos that month and you're in a tournament and you want all 10 in the description, I have no problem putting all 10 in that description. Just shoot me the link and tell me what tournament you want it in. I didn't think it would be that difficult to follow along because I watch Clint, I watch Dan, I watch myself, obviously. I watch everybody, but it's just not something. It's not in my day to day, and it became a little more work than I thought. So if you tell me you want me to do it, I have no problem adding it. It'll take me 2 seconds, but it's just not something I'm gonna actively be remembering to do every single tournament. All right, going forward, regional standings. So the way the regional sits right now, Ryan Bortz is in first. What we did was 2 fish over 25 inches, 3 fish under 25 inches, and we had fun. We counted 1 shad, 1 shad you caught. I actually had a shad over 10 inches, but I did not take a picture of him fresh. I kind of froze him, and I forgot to take a picture of him. But that's okay. It changes nothing. Ryan Bortz is in first, 146.25 inches. I'm in second, 130. Shano is here in third with 94.75. Dave McKinley with 75, and Morgan McMillian skunked. But I think Morgan only fished one day. I think Morgan only fished our in-person tournament, and that was a rough day. Almost every single person got skunked in that tournament as well. So on to the next tournament, biggest CAC. So throughout the entire year, this is a $27 side pot. The single largest catfish caught in competition in the entire year wins this side pot. So currently, Dan Scheid is leading that with a 48-inch blue cat. I am in second with a 27.75-inch blue cat, and Clint Seeger is in third with a 22.7-inch blue cat. But I think he has larger. I think he just ended up signing up for this a little late, but it doesn't matter. Clint's going to have over 40 inches by the end of the year. I hope I have over 40 inches by the end of the year. That's my goal this year, is a bag of 40. And Dan, 48 currently. That's pretty par for the course. 48 is going to be really hard to beat. Possible for sure, but I expect to see a lot of 45 pluses up here before the end of the year. All right, over to January Channel Cat. Yesterday, I lucked out and I just landed on a school of Channel Cats. The way this format was, it was 4 Channel Cats over 24 inches. That actually made it a lot more difficult than you would have thought. I probably caught 15 to 20 Channel Cats this month, and these are literally the only 4 that broke 24 inches. I actually have one, which is a good example of why you should keep video backup of your fish. I'm going to show you. So I made the video's not out, but I will be talking about this. So anyone new, when you submit your fish, the right side of the body needs to go down, and the left side needs to be facing up. Theory is, if you submit a dead fish, their left eye gives out before their right eye, and this is a great example of that. The fish wasn't dead, but it's a great example of why you should really keep video evidence of questionable fish. If Clint argued this fish, if he hit the challenge button, and if I didn't have video evidence of me reeling it in, well, not reeling it in, but proof of it being alive at submission, I would have no way to prove that this fish was not dead at the time that I took this picture. Therefore, I would have to deny my own fish. Luckily, I noticed this in person, and I did not delete the video footage from yesterday. But this is a case where there would not have been an argument for me. If he denied this fish because the left eye is cloudy, I wouldn't have an argument other than you guys have to believe me. So I do have video evidence of that, but I thought that was a good example of, the cloudy left eye. Make sure you keep, if you ever have a questionable fish or think it's going to be questionable, just take a quick 10-second video of it, and if it ever does get challenged, you have it. If it doesn't get challenged, you can always get rid of it. Going on, the 2021 January month-long. So this is your open. Our month-long tournaments are 7 fish. We want to reward anglers who are going to compete in a month-long by making the month-long minimum. Give me 1 second. My son left his Xbox on, and I kept on hearing voices. I thought I was going crazy. It was just people talking in his mic. All right, so we want to reward anglers that are going to fish the month long and put more time in. Our theory is you don't want someone to realistically to be able to go out in one day and win a month long tournament. So our standard is 7 catfish. So right now, Dan Scheid is in first with 259 inches among 7 catfish. I'm in second with 178.25. Clint's in third, 72.25. I'm liking this 7 fish format for the month longs, for our standard open month longs. I think we're going to leave it there. That's for consistency's sake. And I think 7's fair. I think for a month long tournament, I think for an open national tournament, it's supposed to be the toughest one to win. So if you want to be the best, you got to perform the best over the course of the month. So I think we're going to leave this one at 7 for the remainder of the year. I think any more might be asking too much. I think any less, then you could theoretically go out in 1 or 2 trips and get a good bag. If you're in good waters, you can bag 6 fish over 1 or 2 trips, or 5 fish over 1 or 2 trips. Even if you're in good waters, that 7 or more, that number, like these numbers that Dan put up, they're really good. But those numbers realistically could even minus, from 38 up, I would like even in my waters I would have difficulties, but I could compete with this if I hit good waters for the entire month, or I should, in theory, I should be able to compete with this. Um, Now, once all 4 or 7 of those end up being 40 inches is a different thing, but you know we don't want the field. We don't want just anyone to be able to sign up for the month long and win it automatically. So that's why we're going to keep it at 7. Going on, the 2-day tournament. We had a Big Four 2-day tournament last month, or this past month. Dan won that. Ryan took second. I took third. Clint took fourth. That weekend was tough conditions. Again, our format every month is going to be one open tournament, one slot tournament, and one short tournament. That short tournament is actually going to be going down to 24 hours starting in April, March or April. Yeah, nothing else to say about that tournament. And on to February's tournaments. First one, standard month long, biggest 7 fish. I believe we have 5 anglers registered at the moment. Myself, Jesse O'Neill, Ronnie Polin, Clint Seeger, Dan Scheida. Biggest 7 fish. It looks like 5 anglers, 7 tickets. How are these tickets set up? Okay. Okay. So right now, Big Fish, there's only 2 entries. So right now, if it stays at 5 anglers, anyone who's watching this, you're getting $20 for Big Fish. Going forward, that's actually going to change. We are building in the Big Fish into the pot. That way, there's only 1 ticket being sold, not multiple tickets. Next, our slot challenge. So our slot challenge is going to be a little different. There's going to be no kickers. So every month, we're going to have a slot limit tournament. February is going to be 32 inches. It may not stay 32 inches. It'll probably hover around 32 to 35 inches throughout the year, just depending on the time of year. A hotter bite month, such as April, May, June, we might bump it up to 35. And then when the bite starts slowing down, we might, drop it back down to 32. However, not a single fish can be measured in longer than that 32-inch line for this tournament. And you're going to have 5 fish. It's a 5 fish max. Let me see here. Yeah, 5 fish limit. I'm crashing from coffee. I am so sorry. I'm not all there. 5 fish limit, 32-inch max for the entire month of February. I like this because no matter where you live in the country, you cannot complain about any kind of advantage. No matter if you're as north can be, you can easily bag 5 fish at that 32-inch limit over the course of a month. Channel cat, flathead. If you're as south you could be, it actually arguably might be tougher for people in better waters because getting 5 fish under 32 inches might be more difficult. They might actually have to change how they fish to get under there. So, and here, this was questioned a few times. You don't have to have video evidence of your underslot fish, but if you submit a fish at 31.75 and if it's like curled or if it's obvious that it's more than a 32-inch fish, you better have video evidence that you did everything in your power to stretch it past that 32 inches. So the way we're going to handle challenges on underslot fish that are close is you're going to have to submit video evidence to us that you could not physically get it past that slot limit. I don't care how many pictures you have of it under the slot limit. I don't care what your story is about how you couldn't get it past 32 inches. You have to prove it. The big stink in the past for other slot tournaments have been, this is a 30-inch slot tournament, but there's 7 32-inch fish, and no one's policing it, and everyone's getting away with it. That was extremely infuriating to me. And it's just not gonna happen here. We're a little more tougher on this side as far as policing fish. There's no favorites. Ask Dan Scheida. We knocked out one of his 36-inch fish because he had 2 photos one of the months. He didn't get a good photo, so we didn't approve it. So there's no, just so everyone knows, there's no favorites because I'm really good friends with Dan. So, the fact that we went and denied his fish should prove to you guys that it's not that we're not fooling around. It's just don't cheat. We all know if it's a slot fish or not. So if you're going to, unbend the tail, we're going to know. So I have a feeling these slot tournaments are going to have me lose friends, which is fine. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, if you have a slot fish that's close, make sure you have video evidence that you did everything in your power to get it past that slot limit. All right. On to 2 over 2 under. I already talked about that. The slot being, or the slot rules. It's going to be 2 fish over 25 inches, 2 fish under 25 inches. So the way the slot works is you cannot touch the line of the slot. Therefore, if it touches the line of the slot, then it's an overslot fish. So if your fish touches that 25-inch line, it is an overslot fish. If you cannot touch that 25-inch line, it's 24.75 or lower. So in theory, 2 of your fish max should be 24.75, and 2 of your fish minimum should be 25 inches. That's how that's going to work. That's going to go to 13th and 14th of next month. One person signed up for that so far. All right. Going on to the next tournament. Ohio versus Texas. I'm really excited about this format. I've seen this format talked about by other people, but I don't believe it's actually ever come into fruition. So I believe this is a first of its kind for catfishing tournaments. I don't think it's happened anywhere else. We have Ohio versus Texas. The way this came about was we did a poll last month. If you were in a state, or if you were going to compete next month in a state tournament, would you compete? And the majority was actually Kentucky, but we scrapped the idea of doing state tournaments for now until the numbers get up. And then I talked to another person from Texas, and then we were like, oh, it would be cool to do the Ohio versus Texas. Other people have talked about this, so let's actually do it. We ended up going 4 versus 4. The Ohio team is Mark Bennett, Eric Jacobs, myself, Kayak Mike, and Jason Ricketts. The Texas team is Shane Davis, Travis England, Ethan Miller, and Clint Seeger. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Everyone I've talked to, like in the boat world, they all say Ohio's the underdog. They're like, you guys are in trouble, especially for this time of year, which is probably true, but I don't know. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be your 3 biggest fish each. So at the end of the day, if every single angler bags their limit, it's going to be 12 fish versus 12 fish. It's $30 to get in, $20 to the pot, $10 to big fish. Each state has their own big fish. So each state is going to have a $40 big fish winner. But as far as winning the purse, if your team wins, then you essentially just win your money back doubled, essentially, minus whatever the fees are. So it's $20 to you'll probably win somewhere in that $38 range, $37 range. But each state has also a chance of winning at their big fish. So theoretically, you have a much higher percentage at winning. It's just you have a much lower pot at winning from. That's the trade-off with this state versus state challenge. But I'm really excited for this. Hell, I think we might have all 4 of the Ohio guys fishing together at one point next month. So this is a really neat idea. I don't think this is something we can make standard month to month. But down the road, I think this is a really good idea for future tournaments if we just want to like have fun. Going on. Oh, real quick, reciprocal waters. I want to talk about this because I think it plays a factor more for Ohio than it does for Texas. I forgot to talk about this. You can fish any reciprocal water that you want for any state. However, you have to launch from your state, and you cannot be in any tributaries from another state. I'll use downtown Cincinnati as an example. If you launch downtown Cincinnati, you cannot go up the Licking River to fish because you are technically in Kentucky waters. The way I will judge that border is I will go to Google Maps. I will make a straight line from the mouth of any tributary, and if I feel like your submitted fish is in a tributary of another state, I will deny it. I do not want to eliminate reciprocal waters because in a lot of states, reciprocal waters have the best fish. Especially in Ohio. The Ohio River arguably is our best fishery for fishing for catfish. So you might call that selfish because I'm the administrator and that's where I live. But there's other examples. I believe the Tennessee River runs adjacent to Alabama. I wouldn't want somebody in Tennessee or Alabama to not be able to fish that part of that river just because it touches another state. I don't think that's fair. So you have to launch from your state, and you have to be within the borders of that state. Another good example would be downtown Cincinnati. Even if you launched in Ohio, if you ventured too far west and you were south of Indiana, that fish would not count. Even though you launched in Ohio and you're in the Ohio River, if you are south of Indiana, we're not going to count that fish. So make sure you are in the boundary limits of your state as well. All right. The standards for the rest of the year, I kind of already mentioned that. So the March slot, the standards for the rest of the year, like I already said, is going to be one open, one slot, and one short tournament. Now we're going to move on to the Fishing Chaos app itself and some ins and outs of it. What's this? Oh, that's just the club. Okay. So registering for a tournament, real simple. Once you have a profile made, the PC and the app itself, the best part about this for the administration side, they're identical. So everything I show you here, you can apply. I got a puppy. Everything I show you here, you can apply to the app. So you would click on register, select your angler. That's me. Kayak Mike. Phone. Oh, that's me. Rules. I've read the rules. Fishing vessel. Don't worry about your fishing vessel. You don't have to submit anything. Continue. 32-inch slot catfish. Yep. I'm going to get one of those. Continue. Check out. I hope this doesn't show anything. Pay now. What? Oh, that was scary. My screen went black. I didn't test this ahead of time, so I don't. I know how to do it. I just don't know if it's about to show any of my personal information. All right, I'm in. It's literally that simple. Once you have if you didn't have your card information or bank information, the next step there would have been to put it in and then hit submit. But it's that simple on submitting. So now look, anglers won. I see the tickets. I don't think you see the tickets actually. Tickets won. So there's one angler submitted already for the March slot challenge tournament. And submitting a fish. So let's go here to club. I'll show you guys how to submit a fish. Tournaments. We'll go to the Channel Cat tournament. So submit catch. Add photo. We're gonna add the never lost. You know what? Let's do an actual fish. Actually, this is good. So on your app as well, you would go to add photos. It would go to your gallery. So this Channel Cat I know is 22.5. Right here, this species up top, if it's a tournament that has blue cat, channel cat, and flathead catfish as an option, you would select whatever type it is. If you're wrong, it's not that big of a deal unless there's a specific tournament for it. But it doesn't matter what you select technically as long as you select the catfish. Just for statistical purposes, try and select the correct one. 22.5. There it is. It's saying that's where my house is because that's where I'm at. That's funny. And then below that, it will show you all the leaderboards that it qualifies for. So I can also submit it to the biggest CAC, and I can submit it to these tournaments. So you go up here. There's your submit button. So it now entries 14. This entries will go up to 15 here in a second. Let me just refresh it. There. Oh, you see how it says entries 15? There, I now submitted that fish to the pot right here. So there we go. I mean, it's not going to show up in my standings because it's lower than 24-inch limit, but that's how you submit a fish. And entries map. Oh, no. Oh, okay. They only showed Ohio. It didn't show Clinton. That's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to show you was what an entry looks like on my side. Leaderboards, fish entries. Here we go. So let's go to my first one that I submitted at 24 inches on the 10th. So my side, I get the picture. I get all this details. I get the latitude and longitude of where you caught it, etc. I can adjust it to anything I want. And then right here is the map. This is where I see the chords. I click on this. It shows me exactly where I caught it. And I don't really care that you guys saw where I caught it, but this is actually... Yep. That's actually a really good... That's exactly where I caught it. I'm pretty impressed. I typically don't go into the chords unless there's a challenge. I just wanted to let everyone know that ahead of time. So, yeah, that's all there is to it. And the reason I don't go into chords is because I know some people are very worried about their coordinates being given out, etc. There's only one person who has access to the coordinates, and that's me. Or I lied. The two other judges, Dan and Clint, but they're great judges because Dan's the only person fishing where he fishes. Clint's the only person right now really fishing in Texas, and me fishing all the way up in Ohio. And I don't like traveling more than a half hour to fish, let alone travel out of state. So, yep. Let's open up for Q&A. It looks like, what, 6 people are here. Does anyone have any questions? Sorry for sounding like such a jerk about the slot part, but you can't always be like happy-go-lucky about everything all the time. You do have to take some things relatively serious every now and then, and the slot tournament's something that we are going to take relatively serious. She wouldn't have. Oh, I lied. The one we denied from Dan was a 38, and he is correct. That month would not have made his final board. It was insane. All right, I'm gonna go up to the very beginning. Oh, what's up with my beard? I did the oh, here it is. I did the monkey tail. So check this out. I did the monkey tail. It comes wraps and it wraps around my face and stops right here. The problem is my goatee doesn't connect well, so the monkey tail isn't as funny. So this is completely shaved and the monkey tail is right here. But I'm not gonna stick around much longer if there's no questions. Yeah, I'm just going to. I'll leave this up. I've noticed I've been hitting end stream too soon, so I'm gonna leave this up for like another minute until I know for a fact it gathers everything. But yeah, that's how easy it is to submit fish and sign up for a tournament. But yeah, that's how easy it is to submit fish and sign up for a tournament. All right, that should be it. All right, I'll see you guys. Wait, you all tune in. Oh yeah, in a half hour, Ryan Bortz will be on Palmetto Cats, and in 1 minute, every single tournament identifier will launch for the month. All right, see you guys. Tournament. All right, that should be it. All right, I'll see you guys. Wait, you all tune in. Oh yeah, in a half hour, Ryan Bortz will be on Palmetto Cats, and in 1 minute, every single tournament identifier will launch for the month. All right, see you guys.